Hello everyone, my name's Cantdogames. Today we've got something a bit different for you. My passion for making people laugh is, I love doing it. It's fun too. No one has like one passion for something, ain't it? My other one is lore based on fantasy creatures, magic, D&D, Tolkien. You know, all that stuff. I love all like the lore, like the little things in it. Like I've got the books. I've got the book, of course, for Warcraft, Folklore and all that, and I've also got the Tolkien's Encryptionary, basically where it explains all the creatures and all that about them. I've got stuff like that, so I love watching them videos, and I felt like I'm gonna give it a try because I've really wanted to do one of these videos, but not being really confident in myself to think I could do that properly because I'm just used to being an idiot. But giving it a shot. I hope you enjoy. Today it's all about them green little men, not elves, not fairies, the Goblin. I hope you enjoy, and if you did, let me know in the comments. Yeah, let's get into this. In Europe, folklore whispers devils-like creatures, skin to imps and kobolds, usually but not always maleficent or at least mischievous. In Tolkien's Legendarium, they appear in The Hobbit as the Goblin. What is a goblin? What do we picture in our mind when we think of a goblin? Well, most people probably this.
You are the one that killed her.
Or if you're me, you think of them garden little gnomes that look like goblins, or the movie The Labyrinth.
You remind me of the babe. Babe with the power.
If you're like me, most people know a goblin as a mischievous, green type creature, very short in stature, or sort of like an old man with a bad back. I just imaged the old man from Family Guy. A goblin is a type of fairy originally from Europe's folklore. The word goblin is originally derived from the Greek word kobolds, which translates to English as rogue or evil spirit. The word goblin has traditionally been reserved for an ugly fairy that is either mischievous or malevolent. After J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit in 1937, The Lord of the Rings trilogy between 1954 and 1955, the view of goblins in the modern Western fantasy began to change. Goblins were now commonly seen as their own distinctive race of humanoid creatures. Typically features of goblins in modern fantasy includes a shorter than a human stature, either a flat or long and hooked nose, bat-like ears, and either a mischievous or malevolent demeanor. Also, of course, goblins were also put into video games because that was the next stages of like telling stories and fairy tales, such as Dungeons and Dragons. The goblins are pictured as evil, grotesque, greedy creatures, but they're still greedy. It still has when you look at them, you still know that it's a goblin there. Even in other fantasy games, World of Warcraft, they have folklore in there based on the books, like here. Folklore and fairy tales is a goblin one. And a dark afternoon, 3 goblin children were playing in the market, while their parents haggled over the price of detonation cord and explosives. After a bit of showing off, the children began to argue. "I have 4 iron coins," the sassy one said. "That's nothing." The ill-tempered one bragged, "I have 5. The youngest goblin waved a handful of iron coins in the air. "I've got more than both of you." An old goblin with ratty teal braids overheard the argument. "Keep your voices down and your money in your pockets, or we know who might pay you a visit." As the old goblin continued on her way, she sang a nursery rhyme the young goblins knew well. "In dark of nights and bright of days, keep in your hand a toss away. Guard your fortune, mind your greed, or else the uninvited guest will feed." So even in World of Warcraft, where the Goblin is depicted as greedy. Goblins have gone through a lot of change through this time, and because they're fiction, they can be used really in any circumstance. So everyone has a different description or origins of their story. They were originally, yes, a European folk tale. That's all it was. It was folklore, or it was an insult to call someone a greedy goblin. In later society, as in like with, let's say, anime and all that, there are goblins, and they are classed as the weaker. Whoa, wait. Japan? What the hell? Several, I guess, the Goblin Slayer, but they believe the goblins are from the moon, so.
俺は月から来たと聞いた。
月?
あの緑の岩でできた場所からゴブリンは来る。
Wait, maybe it does make sense. Little green men. Goblins are aliens. Solved it. But the original goblins depicted in fairy tales and folklore, like the benevolent goblin. The benevolent goblin is a folk story written by an unknown author that was compared in British Gesto-Romania between the 13th century and the 14th century. The plot is simple. A wooden hill in England, there once had lived an unusual, friendly, helpful goblin. This goblin wore a red robe, and he would help the local knights by offering a mysterious drinking horn that was encrusted with gold and jewels. When the knights drank the unknown liquid from a mysterious horn, they would become miraculously cooled and refreshed. The goblin continues to help the knights, until one day, a greedy and deceitful knight ran off with the drinking horn, after he asked the goblin if he could drink from it. The knight was soon captured by local authorities, after he was found bragging about his misdeeds, and was imprisoned. The goblin's drinking horn was then given as a gift to the King of England. From the day forth, the goblin was never seen or heard from again. But what most people nowadays, when they think of the word goblin, they will image either the Tolkien, the amazing work of Tolkien, a video game, or an anime now. It isn't really used as an insult or anything. It's been sort of lost to time, but thanks to cinema and more fiction writers and all that, they are getting more spotlight, I think. And that's a good thing. I think we still need folklore and stuff like that in our lives, because it's what brings out, I think it helps with imagination and people expressing themselves, expressing themselves through story or something, and they can use these mystical creatures that we know aren't real, but deep down we want to believe they are. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Let me know what you think. Still kind of rusty, I know, but I wanted to try something out. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.